tanks, baby, tanks, yeah. And they're rugged too. These guys, I mean, Dubro tanks, right? Can you think of a bigger fixture? All kinds of sizes. They've never split, right? You've never had a case reported where this tank is split?
Never one failure.
I gotta see how you make them.
Absolutely.
Can you show
Let's
us?
do it.
Or is
Let's
that top secret or something?
Nah, we can show you that.
Okay, good, let's go. Show me the tanks.
This is where it all begins, right here.
This is like tank ore, right? Tank ore, look at this stuff. Look at this stuff.
It's all virgin material. We use 100% virgin, no regrind.
Okay, now, from what I understand, what no regrind means, you don't take tanks that have already been made, use the extra flashing, and then grind them up and put them back in here.
We don't do that.
This is fresh.
This is fresh.
This is like right off the plastic farm, right?
It's going to be the strongest that way.
Okay, so then here's one coming out right now, and it's got a bunch of flashing on it, stuff that needs to be trimmed off. And you know, one thing I noticed is there's no hole cut out of that.
Right. What we do is take the tank, and then of course we'll trim off all the flash, and we'll actually saw it off right here. It's a much stronger way to do it. Otherwise, under pressure, you can get splits in tanks. I'm sure you've heard of that.
Yeah. So you're saying by not molding the hole in there, it makes the tank stronger?
Absolutely.
I did not know that. Guys, this is pushrod material, and pushrods really suck when they're curved like that. So Dubro came up with an automated way to take this kind of spool and straighten it so that when you get a pushrod, it is straight and rigid and ready to go. So what you're saying is this machine actually
It's grabbing the wire from the pressure of the dies. It's forming the threads rather than cutting them, so it's much stronger.
Yeah, and I can feel this. This is one thickness, and then this is actually thicker. And of course now it's covered with oil, machine oil, but that's a hot push rod right there. This looks like a cub cap.
That's exactly what it is.
And so these things go on the outside of
And a cub wheel. That's a quarter scale one right there.
He knows what he's talking about. How do you make these things?
Let's show. We injection mold them.
All right, injection molding. Woo!
You know, it's the same type of system. A pelletized plastic comes down through the hopper into the barrel.
And you get a cub cap.
You get a cub cap. And again, we're using virgin material for, you know, you get the strongest part you're going to get.
And I think that point's worth really making here. The difference is, instead of using scrap material from what's already been heated and recycling it, you don't do that. You throw this is waste. Right. And other factories, maybe overseas, would use that waste product to recreate the material, and then you have a weaker product.
That's
Is that about right?
Yeah.
No weak products. None. Do you buy your raw materials in the United States from United States manufacturers?
Absolutely. Yes, we do.
So this is a made in the USA product.
This is America. This is America.
This is great.
Yep.
And some of the tooling and the processes you're doing here look like you guys made it up.
We did. A lot of what we do, there is no equipment. You can't go buy it, so you have to create it.
Who's the brains behind all that?
You know, I got a great team. One of my top guys is Dave Gray, the gentleman that designed the first radio control helicopter. He's in the Smithsonian Institute. He's an incredible individual. Along with, I've got Steve Wildcatch, another great guy, and Ed Bojan, and just a great team around me that puts this all together.
So these guys have CAD designs and computers, and they come up with these different elements or accessories?
No, we're actually doing it the old-fashioned way.
Slide rules?
You got it.
I love it. So which part of where are we now in the factory?
Well, down in this area, we do a lot of our packaging. We warehouse a lot of the finished goods, like the plastic parts we saw being molded up there. We also do our tires back in this area.
When I grew up, low bounce. That was it. Dubro low bounce. I mean, they rolled off the tongue together. How big is the tire business compared to the rest of the business?
Well, it's a decent percentage of our business. We've got, I don't even know how many different styles, to be honest with you. Probably, 60, 70 different numbers of tires. Really?
So locked inside this clamp mold is...
It's alive. It's a foam tire that is basically growing in there, and it's...
As I'm holding it.
Yeah, it's growing.
It's incubating, it's growing inside. So it starts out and it actually expands when it's in the mold?
Correct. Again, a lot of these processes took years to develop. Got a lot of time and effort into them, and we built our own equipment, so.
So pretty much what you're saying is you don't want anybody to know how you're doing it.
Yeah.
I like that. Trade secrets. Let's go see some. See what we can find. There's bins and bins of accessories and stuff that we see in hobby shops all the time. How many different products do you guys make?
I don't know the exact count today, but somewhere between 1,000 and 1,200.
Really, different SKUs,
active
right?
numbers, yeah.
So valves and quick links and push rods and
Fuel tubings, pumps, filters, valves, nuts, bolts, you name it. Typically, a guy will say, I bought this kit, but I threw out all the hardware and I put yours in, because if you think about it, when it comes to that hardware, a lot of times it's kind of an afterthought for the manufacturer. They'll throw it in there, but it's all about money and cost. And
right, and that's a big deal, because you get an airplane that you pay all this money for, and then it fails because of a linkage or because of a small part. That's ridiculous.
It could be a 50-cent part.
Right, and so you guys are the kings of the non-50-cent parts, the parts that cost 50 cents, but they're worth 4 times as much in terms of what they handle and their reliability.
It's like an insurance policy.
It is. So this is not your grandma's bundt cake mold. This is a RV series tire mold from some of the older products that Dubro used to make. But it just really gives you a sense of, how this stuff is produced. It's organic, and it's really cool. It's stuff we use every day, maybe take for granted how they're made. It's a long, very difficult, and thoroughly planned process, and Dubro does it like nobody else we've seen. Oops. You didn't need those extras, did you?
Michael, you're costing me a lot of money here today.
I dropped my balls on the floor. Let me pick them up. We've all done this before, where you got to pick these things up off the workshop, and I think the specially designed Dubro ball link with the flat edge really helped me pick those up.
There you go.
So thank you for that.